Welcome back, H-Town. Welcome back. On today's show, I know. Everyone is excited about this Houston Texans offense. The possibilities of a high-powered offense with year 2 of C.J. Stroud, bringing in Joe Mixon, bringing in a Stephon Diggs, year 2 with Tank Dell, year 2 with Nico Collins. That is very exciting. But could this Houston Texans defense actually be the straw that stirs the Houston Texans drink? And I know. Offense is exciting, but defense wins championships. So, H-Town, we're going to cuss and discuss that. So get your listening ears ready, strap up your boots, and let's go.
Hey, Houston fans, I am so happy.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? I was born for this. Look, every Sunday, whenever we play, I get that text. Are you ready?
Texas!
The pitch. And Altuve hits it in the air pretty deep to left. Carter is back at the wall, leaves, and it is gone! It's gone! How do you like that?
One game at a time.
Green still with it. Gets it back, lets it fly, and got it!
Win on two, 1-2.
Welcome back, H-Town. Welcome back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend a few minutes here on Everything H-Town Sports Debate Show. I'm your dreadhead host, Hot Topic TB. And like always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification bell so you can get the latest flames when your boy drop about your Houston Texans, your Houston Rockets, and very rarely, but sometimes in some cases, your Houston Astros. But on to the topic at hand, baby. We come here to talk about, could this Houston Texans defense be the straw that stirs the Houston Texans drink, and not the Houston Texans offense, not C.J. Stroud leaving us, but this defense with Will Anderson, and the Nico Autry, Alzee Shire, all those guys, Derek Stingley, those guys could actually be the straw that stirs the Houston Texans drink. That boy is good. And I wanted to discuss that, man. We're in a dead period right now. It's not too many highlights, not too many good stories. It's a lot of headline porn, a lot of BS to read and talk about and chop up. But this is out of my dome, out of your boy creation, Pinky and the Brain. This is from me, you dig? Like, I just sit back and think about what could be for this Houston Texans roster in 2024. We have a harder schedule. We playing a lot of primetime games. So a lot of teams is going to be coming for our neck, dog. A lot of teams is going to be looking to beat the Houston Texans and show that we haven't made it. Even though I know we have made it, but a lot of teams are going to be set out to prove that we haven't. You know, we are the NFL's darlings right now. So a lot of people looking like, we're going to show them like the guys from the Colts. You thinking week 1 they not going to come and give us their best shot? They definitely are, because we're going to be in Indianapolis. We're going to be in their dome and on their home field turf. They're going to try to come out here and beat us because we are a division rivalry, a division rival on top of us being the NFL darling right now. Those guys were just as good as we were. It was a running back pass dropped. You know, a running back swing pass drop away from the Colts going to the playoffs. So those guys are closer to us than not. But I believe we added some addition and some pieces that kind of put us a notch ahead of those guys. But we'll see when we get in between the white lines. But I believe this Houston Texans defense is actually going to be the side of the ball that gets us through a lot of close games. Because, like I said, yeah, we may have the offensive weapons. We may have C.J. Stroud. But a lot of those games that we played last year, they was kind of mucky games. We won by a one-possession game. A lot of those games were close. And those teams wasn't they was kind of like bottom feeder teams. Yeah, we beat the Bengals with Joey Burrow and some of those teams, but pretty much the teams that we played last season were kind of like bottom feeder teams. They were all trying to come up and get into the playoffs and be on a rise like us. I know the Buccaneers made it to the playoffs. I know some of those teams were better than advertised, but we had a lot of one-score wins and a lot of close wins, field goal wins, even close losses, man. The loss to the Atlanta Falcons, C.J. Stroud takes us down. We take the lead. They come back down. They win the game. So I understand all that. It swings year by year. So to me, I think this defense is going to have to be a dominant force, maybe a top 10, top 15 at worst. Top 15 at worst. But in my eyes, it should be top 10, top 5 defense. If this defense is a top 10, top 5 defense, we will get further than we did last year. We will be anywhere from a 12 to a 13 win team. And I believe it's possible because C.J. Stroud is going to steer the ship. He's going to make things happen. But to me, I'm looking at this. Okay, we brought in Danielle Hunter. Check this out. Danielle Hunter last season had 41 pressures, 23 TFLs, and 16 and a half sacks. We brought in a Danico Autry. He had 58 QB pressures, 12 TFLs, and 11 and a half sacks. We also brought in Alzee Shires. I mean, he's going to be the quarterback of the defense, but he had 163 combined tackles and 2 sacks. Man, the man was all over the field. So Alzee Shire, he was doing this thing as well. With just those 3 guys, that's not me including anybody who was already on the Houston Texans roster, but just these 3 guys that we bringing in, that is a total of 30 sacks. Last season, we set a franchise record, I believe, of 44 to 46 sacks. That's a franchise sack record for the Houston Texans. And we just brought in 3 guys who combined to have a total of 30 by themselves. On top of us still having Will Anderson Jr., who should be better in year 2. On top of us having Christian Harris, who should be better on year 2. On top of us having Derek Stingley, if he can stay healthy a full season, at least 15 games, he's going to be much better. On top of us bringing in, I believe it's a steal, Kamari Lassiter. That guy is probably going to be CB2 when it's all said and done, but I believe that's a steal. On top of us bringing back Desmond King and those type of guys. I know a lot of people, we might have a lot of guys at the D tackle position that people don't know, but we brought back guys like Kirk Heinrich and guys that I like. Guys who could be serviceable D tackles, but Danico Autry is probably going to play in pass rush situations. He's probably going to be at the D tackle position, and then you're going to have your Will Anderson and your Danielle Hunters on the outside. So you're going to have some pressure up the middle as well as the outside. And Danico Autry, man, he's a dog. He's a junkyard dog. Nick Caserio loved the pickup. He's been looking at this guy for a few years since he's been out here, maybe since a New England Patriot, because this guy just gets it done. He's not your flashy type guy, but he's just going to get out there and he's going to work. He's going to put his head down and he's going to go eat. And then you have guys like Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter on the outside that's going to make it a little bit easier for this guy as well. Oh my God, it could be very scary. But if Kamari Lassiter does what he's been doing in camp, I mean, he's won the Swarm Player of the Day. He's out there, I mean, in people's hip pocket. The guy is confident as ever. He calls himself the locksmith. So if he can play close to being a locksmith on the opposite side of Derek Stingley, that could be very scary. C.J. Henderson has looked okay. Jeff Okudah, he may be a cut. I don't know. Jeff Okudah, I don't believe he's going to survive on this team. If he does, he's going to be a backup. He's going to be a serviceable body on this team. He's big, he's fast, but the guy just, I mean, he just can't hang on to an NFL team. If he does hang on, like I said, it's going to be quality depth for this guy. He's nothing to get excited about. C.J. Henderson, he talks a lot of trash, but he's doing better in camp than Jeff Okudah is. So like I said, man, we brought in a lot of guys. I can't remember the guy that we brought in from the Patriots, but we brought in a lot of bodies to throw at that CB2 position, or if something happens to Stingley on the opposite side, like so. But knock on wood, nothing happens to Stingley. Stingley stays healthy, play 15, 16 games. We resting in week 17. That's what we hope. And if this happens and Kamari Lassiter steps up, Kalen Bullock steps up at one of the safety spots, and you have Kalen Bullock balling out. You have Jimmy Ward balling out. You have Jalen Petrie doing his thing, and he's rotating from being in the box to being a nickel, whatever, man. Whatever head coach DeMeco Ryans decides to do with this defense, I believe truly it's not going to be the offense that leads us to the playoffs. It's going to definitely have to be this defense, and that's just the way it works. If you look at your Baltimore team, yeah, they was a nice offense, high-powered offense, but what led them to where they were and year in and year out is the Baltimore Ravens defense. Last year, the Super Bowl champs, they reinvented themselves. The Kansas City Chiefs had, I guess, the youngest defense in NFL with an age of 25 years old. Those guys, pretty much, I think 5 or 6 of those guys, pretty much that defense was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, they brought in a couple guys. Yeah, they re-signed some guys. But for the most part, they drafted those guys just as well as the Houston Texans did. So maybe we can pull a little bit from their blueprint. We drafted the Derek Stingley. We drafted the Kamari Lassiter. We drafted the Kalen Bullock. We drafted all these guys, the Will Andersons. We drafted a lot of these guys that's on this roster. So maybe we trying to go with that blueprint, having a young fly around defense that swarms and just gets after the quarterback. So, but to me, in my eyes, in my opinion, I believe this defense is going to have to stir the drink. See, if the defense can hold it down and they can get turnovers from CJ Stroud, we can light the world up. We can light the NFL up. We can light these teams up, and we can do what we have to do. If this defense can get in there and get stops, this defense can be clutch and make plays in prime moments. If this defense can be the conductor, they can be the lead train car, or whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the name right now. Maybe the caboose, whatever. Correct me if you have to. But like I said, if this defense can be a dominant defense, a top 10, top 5, even top 15 at minimum, this team can go further than what they did last season, because you will need a defense, but also we will need a run game. I believe the run game kind of hampered us last year. That's what kind of, derailed this offensive playbook, because we didn't have anybody to really run the ball. Yeah, Modal Singletary, did better later in the season, but he couldn't even get this run game to be consistent. So, like I said, at the end of the day, you're going to have CJ Stroud, but you don't want your year 2 quarterback to have to put it all on his back and get us to the Super Bowl. And I'm pretty sure head coach DeMeco Ryans, being a defensive guy, I'm pretty sure he prefers this defense to lead us down that road and be the straw that stirs this drink for the Houston Texans, instead of CJ Stroud have to put the world on his shoulder and make it happen, even though he's capable of that, even though he's capable of having an MVP season. I'm pretty sure head coach DeMeco Ryans wanted to be complimentary football with the defense, with the offense, with the special teams. They want a complete roster and a complete team, and that's the way head coach DeMeco Ryans and general manager Nick Caserio is building this team and this roster. But in my opinion, like I said, we brought in 3 guys that's bringing 30 total sacks to this roster, along with the Will Andersons and the guys that I stated earlier. That is a lot of sacks when our team, I believe, had a franchise record anywhere between 44 to 46, and you bring it in guys that had 30. So if it's 44, you only 14. The 3 guys you brought in are only 14 sacks away from your franchise record. So we brought in a lot of guys, and a lot of people kind of slept. They was happy for us bringing in Danielle Hunter, but it kind of went to the back of the bus, because then we went and brought in Stephon Diggs. We traded for Joe Mixon. So everyone got excited about the offense, and then Danielle Hunter was just pushed to the side. Even though Danielle Hunter has only had 1 season in his career, and which was an injury season, that he didn't get double-digit sacks. Danielle Hunter is that guy. He's bonding well with Will Anderson Jr., so that's going to be scary. Will Anderson Jr. is learning a lot from Danico Autry and Danielle Hunter and these veterans, Alzee Shire, that the Houston Texans has brought in. These guys are going to clearly get after it. Like I say, if the safety in the CB position, the CB2 position, is even capable of being serviceable, I believe this defense can be minimum top 15, at best top 10, top 5 defense. And then if you have anywhere from a top 10, top 5, even top half of the league, top 15 offense, dude, you can be a very, very scary team. But with CJ Stroud and all these weapons and Bobby Sloyd in year 2, I believe this can be anywhere from a top 10 to a top 5 offense. But I believe the Houston Texans defense will have to be the straw that stirs the Houston Texans drink for the 2024 season. Give CJ a little more seasoning. Don't make CJ have to put it all on his back. Let CJ learn and develop a little bit more and see what this defense can do, H-Town. I'm your Dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV. I know this is a short video, but this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Leave your likes. Leave your comments, man. Whatever. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you think is going to be the straw that stirs this Houston Texans team. Will it be the defense? Will it be the offense? H-Town, let your boy know. But until then, I'm your Dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV. It's been real and peace.
Texas! Put some respect on our name.